Have you ever promised yourself you'd wake up early, set the alarm with motivation, and then shut it off without even opening your eyes? You wake up hours later with that familiar feeling, regret. You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll do better. But tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. You've probably heard this before. Successful people wake up early. Maybe you tried it once, maybe a few times. And every time, life pulled you back into old routines. But what if the first quiet hour of the morning is where lives are rebuilt? What if one ordinary man discovered that success isn't found in working harder, but in starting earlier? Stay with this story until the end, because it might change how you see tomorrow morning. In a worn-down manufacturing town, filled with warehouses and empty streets, lived a 34-year-old man named Evan Miller. Evan worked the overnight shift as a security attendant at a shipping depot. He clocked in at 9:00 p.m. He clocked out just before sunrise. By the time the city was waking up, Evan was dragging himself home, tired, disconnected, invisible. His paycheck barely covered rent. He lived alone in a narrow studio apartment. No decorations, no furniture beyond a mattress and a folding chair. But the real weight wasn't financial. It was emotional. Every morning, Evan passed lit windows, families eating breakfast, professionals tying ties, kids rushing to school. And he wondered if he'd somehow missed the exit to a better life. He had tried to escape his situation. He applied for better roles. He thought about learning new skills, but exhaustion always won. By the time he lay down at 7:00 a.m., sleep swallowed him whole. The world moved forward without him. One thought repeated itself quietly in his mind. There has to be more than this. Everything changed one freezing morning in early winter. As Evan was finishing his shift, his phone rang. It was his younger sister. Evan, Mom collapsed. She's in the hospital. His chest tightened. He boarded the first bus heading out of town. The ride felt endless. At the small clinic, his mother lay pale but awake. The doctor explained she was overworked, underfed, and stressed. She needed care they couldn't afford. Holding his hand, she whispered, "I don't want you trapped like I was. Promise me you'll find another way." That promise settled deep inside him. Later, Evan stepped outside the clinic. The sky was dark blue. Birds were just beginning to stir. It was exactly 5:00 a.m. The world was silent but alive, and something shifted. Standing there, Evan said quietly, "This ends now." On the bus ride back to the city, Evan noticed a man across from him, calm, focused, reading a book, well-dressed, relaxed. It was Richard Park, a local business owner everyone admired. Evan glanced at the time. 6:10 a.m. Curiosity won. "Can I ask, why are you up this early?" Richard smiled. "Because mornings belong to the people who plan ahead." They talked. Evan explained his night job, his sleep schedule, his frustration. Richard nodded thoughtfully. "You're awake when opportunity sleeps," he said, "and asleep when opportunity is working." Then he leaned closer. The hours between 5 and 7 in the morning, that's where lives quietly change. Hope stirred. "But I'm exhausted," Evan admitted. "Then change your rhythm," Richard said. "Sleep earlier, wake earlier. Protect those hours. They're rare and powerful." Richard handed him a card. "If you're serious, call me. I'll show you how to use the mornings, but only if you're disciplined." The next day, Evan did something unfamiliar. He stayed awake after his shift. At 5 a.m. the following morning, his alarm screamed. Every instinct begged him to quit, but he stood up anyway. The first week was brutal. His body resisted. His mind argued. From 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, he studied basic data tools online. From 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, he walked the empty streets and planned his day. Day by day, something changed. Around week 3, Evan woke up before the alarm. The fog lifted. Concepts began clicking. His confidence grew. By month 2, he had certifications. By month 3, he applied what he learned at work. On day 89, he was offered a daytime position, double the pay. A year later, Evan lived differently. Better home, stable schedule, his mother nearby and cared for. But one habit never changed. Every morning at 5 a.m., Evan woke up. Not out of necessity, out of respect for the life he built. When coworkers asked why, he answered simply, "Because winning the day starts before it begins." Here's the truth: your life doesn't change in big moments. It changes in quiet hours. Between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock a.m., distractions are asleep. Excuses are weaker. Focus is stronger. That's when growth happens. So here's your challenge. Set your alarm for 5 o'clock a.m. tonight. Choose one thing to build. Protect your sleep. Do it for 90 days. Your future won't be perfect, but it will be different. And sometimes, different is everything. Will you wake up tomorrow? Or will you press snooze and meet the same version of yourself again?